Okay, so back to where we left off. So we're still on Jim Moriarty and Crowley versus Lucifer. Ugh. So yeah, they basically trapped Lucifer.
You just can't. I would try to convince you. Everything I have to say has already crossed your mind.
I assure you, this is far from over.
He just called the devil himself that W word. So, also, yeah, Jim Moriarty and Crowley are still in the Legion of Darkness. So basically, yeah, this is indicating that Lucifer or Satan is not the great evil of this series. So it is technically someone else. Technically a form for Chernabog, that is. So yeah, technically, Lucifer is not part of the Legion of Darkness. Nope. Just Jim Moriarty and Crowley just poking fun at the devil.
I have loved this.
Or just try to get rid of him just in case.
This little game of ours.
That's what you get, working with a demon.
Yeah, true. So now that Lucifer won't bother them, especially to the Legion of Darkness. And now for the epilogue. Oh yeah, Jim Moriarty and Crowley wins. So we see Pitch Black is, how'd that go again? Such a bad nerd. Oh yeah, he notices Mandragora's life energy has faded. You know, part of his own plans, I guess. But when that faded, it somehow awakens a human part of him. Huh. And one thing that's odd to me is that Malazar, who had a long history with Mandragora himself, sees his contempt for Pitch grow further and an opportunity for usurping control coming closer. So Malthazar just wants to control the Legion of Darkness or something, huh? And then we see the Snow Queen has found another waterbender who wants to help with the Ice faction. And that is Unalog, Korra's uncle. Basically, he's basically a theocracy villain. A theocracy is where it's basically a governmental state that is in control, like, basically it's like a very religious state of government in a way, like a country that would be either be ruled by God or any gods. Basically that. Well, it's just basically whatever religion theocracy would go for. So his idea is that humans and spirits coming back together. Like he's all on spirits. Here's this meme. Spirits. Okay, that pic is from Ancient Aliens. And I know not many people care for Unalog. I think people more towards the many Avatar Legend of Korra villains like Amon, John Tiri, and Pravira, and Vatu. But never Unalog. So much that here's this Family Guy meme. You guys always act like you're so much better than me. He's portrayed as Meg Griffin, and look at this. How could you not laugh at that? Okay, Amon looks kind of silly in Chris's body. And he looks like the Kingpin, don't he? So yeah, these villains are a lot better than Unalog. So yeah, nobody cares for Unalog, but everyone loves Vatu, even me. Then we see Vlad Plasmius, who's now powerless, meets with the two businessmen, Maximilian Picasus and Varric. I just love this guy. Seriously, you guys need to watch The Legend of Korra. That dude is really entertaining, especially with the Julie, do the thing! Julie, do the thing! Julie, do the thing! He's very creative in a funny way. It looks like Vlad is going to the hall. We don't need magic to prove how powerful we are. We have guns. Yep. Blown that kid's head off. Then we see Dracula with Voldemort. I gotta read this so you guys might get this. In exchange for aiding him to finding the Elder One and retrieve the One Ring, and Dracula gains Voldemort's support. So I guess Voldemort is now in the Legion of Darkness then. Then we see Rothbard meeting up with Prince Charming, and they both had to come up with a plan and team up to take down Pitch Black and his Legion of Darkness. And then we see Envy and Lust meet up with the new Sloth named Second Sloth, or Sloth 2. Okay, this is basically Sloth from the 2003 anime. And then we see Van Pelt, about time he shows up, along with Javert and the Colonel, are in the clutches of Dante. And to be honest, I hate Dante. Okay. I do not hate her. It's just, she's okay. She's an okay villain. She's not as interesting as Father from Fullmetal Alchemist, or Mach, or Vatu, or Aman, or Azula, or Rasputin, or Scar, or Maleficent, or anything. She's just an okay villain. Basically on the same levels of an okay villain as Duncan is. So, Dante is okay. Okay, she was just made up for the show, the 2003 version. It was basically, they already caught up with, they didn't, well, the show was still running when the manga was still being developed. They just decided to make their own story, split, make up their own, coming out their butts, and they just made up Dante. Which, in my opinion, is just really stupid. I mean, she's an okay villain. And she's gonna send them in. Oh, not the baby! Using a sacrifice, which, the Gate of Truth. Okay, in both the manga and Brotherhood, the Gate of Truth is basically, like, if you watch Fullmetal Alchemist, you would see Edward goes into there, and there's like billions and billions of memories, and he's like each of his body parts are being torn off. And even, I think but the ending of the manga and Brotherhood, Father, who was just like how he was in his original form, like a dwarf in the flask, or whatever. Yeah, the dwarf in the flask, or whatever it is. Forget it. I don't have time for that. I think he just went into his own hell. While in the 2003 anime, they just made it like it's an alternate gateway to alternate worlds. So now it's being portrayed as both, huh? And the Colonel is now in... At first I didn't know where this is from, and it turns out that version of the Colonel is from Zorro. You know, Zorro, 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 like that. I'll just leave the link to the Nostalgia Critics review of one movie in particular. And what I guess is Javert, that is not what I expected. Not the Russell Crowe one. This is probably a different version of Les Miserables. But are we gonna get the Russell Crowe version of Javert, who is just a separate character in the live-action universe? I'm just asking. And we got Van Pelt. Yep, the one from Jumanji movie that I know of. And then we see the Major meet up with that messenger of his, who... survived somehow. Yeah. And then we see Nox is surprised to see CC, or in the English sub it's C2, is in his lair. It's kind of interesting that these two are teaming up. And it kind of is. And looks like she gets to see the Ilia cube. Yeah, I think that's the one where QB was trapped inside. I mean, why not have QB be trapped in there and then be released in there instead of just him being in a CGI realm? I'm still asking. And then we see that Sauron is not the only one who ended up in the live-action universe. Smaug is also here. Oh yeah, Smaug! That Smaug I loved! So that was Non-Disney Villains Tournament Round 12, Part 3. Really epic part of the Round 12. So, still as amazing as always, so, see you guys in the next video.